Hey everybody, it's Lynette from TechBasedMarketing.com. Have you heard about Pinterest? I'm pretty sure you have, and you probably already have an account in there. I know I have one, and I love it in the sense that we are people as humans. We're highly visual, and there's just so many pretty things and interesting things to see on Pinterest. And also at the same time, there's some fantastic ideas that come out of Pinterest. So, what kind of drew me towards it, other than peer pressure, rather, is that began to notice that I got a good amount of traffic from Pinterest for one of our sites, and I didn't even do anything. I didn't create any kind of pins. I didn't do anything. And then when I looked at my stats one day and I see Pinterest is among our top referrers. So, I figured, well, maybe we should do something about that. And which led me onto this path, which is creating Pinterest graphics. Now, you can create Pinterest graphics using any kind of image manipulation tool that you have on your computer. Naturally, if you have the high-end Photoshop, that's fantastic. You can continue to use that. However, if you kind of like me, and even though I do have Photoshop, but I don't have it on my PC, I have it on the Mac, and because I spend most of my time on a PC, sometimes it's a little bit of a hassle to switch computers. And also, I always like the idea of being portable. So that got me thinking, why don't I use Pixlr? Now, I've been introduced to Pixlr probably, I think, close to 2 years now, or whenever. It's been a long time. And if you look at a website now, they actually have quite a number of different tools for you to use, and even mobile applications from Google Play and App Store, the Apple App Store, and it's completely free. However, when I first started using Pixlr, there was nothing except for this main Pixlr editor, which is the advanced one. And online, it is as close to Photoshop as I can find. There's actually another one called something Sumo. I think it's called Paint Sumo, but that one is not 100% free. However, Pixlr is 100% free, and I figured it would be a great tool to show you how to create Pinterest graphics for free online. You don't even have to download anything, and you certainly don't have to fork out hundreds of dollars for the expensive Photoshop. So let us go ahead and take a look here. I'm going to go ahead and click on a Pixlr editor here, which will actually open up the editor in my browser. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Morguefile right now, which, if you don't know about this site, it's great stock photo site for getting all kinds of stock photos for free. People are very, very generous. All these photographers and artists, they're very, very generous. They put up their work up there for free. So let's see here. Let's find something that's kind of nice. Now, I don't really have a theme here, otherwise I would have a better idea of what kind of picture that I want. But I'm a sucker for uh, landscape photos. So I look at this one and I think I kind of like this. I don't even know whether it's a real photo. It doesn't look like a real photo, does it? Anyway, I'm going to click on this JPEG URI, and it's giving me the URL up here to the actual file. I'm going to copy that, and I'm coming back over to Pixlr, and I'm going to click this open image from URL, and then what I'm going to do is paste this in here. All right, so this image actually has a frame to it, and I really do not want that frame. So, and I also want the image to be square. Now, you can create any kind of image and you can create any size for Pinterest, but I think if you look at a regular Pinterest stream, square seems to do better. So I'm going to go for square, and I want you to just watch over here where it says the X, Y, and the WH, which is the width and the height, because it will change as I crop this picture. And I want to kind of look over there and make sure that I'm cropping it to an exact square. So right now it's 355, 369. Let's see if I can get it I'm almost there. Okay, exactly. So I'm gonna drop it right there. And I can also, kind of frame it and see which area I like the most. And I think maybe like that because the center of the image is, or you could be a little bit artistic, and just frame like that. I'm not an artist, I'm a geek. So I'm just gonna simply crop wherever I want, and then I'm gonna click outside of the image and it will ask me to apply changes, and I will say yes. Now, what I want to do is I want to add a new layer and actually have create like a center border so that I can put text on top of this border so that my text will not get lost in all this busyness of this image. So what I'm going to do is I clicked this one. If you haven't noticed earlier, I clicked this little new layer icon right here, and then I am going over here to click this select tool. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just create a band like that in the center. And if it's not really centered, you can actually change it. In fact, I think let's not have it in the center. I think let's put it a little bit further down here. Okay, like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my tool here again, and a black is fine because I want it to be black. And then I'm going to color that band. Now I'm going to go up here and say edit, deselect all, and this would just take away that little ant line here. I can actually go ahead and put my text on top of this black band right now, but I kind of want some interest to this because the picture is pretty, but with the band on top of it, it just covers up a big chunk of the image. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this icon here. It's kind of like a slider icon at the bottom. It's called layer settings. So if you click on that and make sure that this layer 1 is highlighted where your band is, and then you can change the opacity, and it will give you a really nice like transparent looking background. Let's just use 70 right now. Okay, and if I wanted to, I can actually double click on the name of the layer and change it. So I can call it black band right here, and that way it will actually help me figure out when I have a lot of layers here, then I know what each layer is supposed to be, and I don't have to guess it. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put text on it. But before I do text, because the band is black, I'm going to go and select my color for the text to be white, and only then, and I'm going to click on the text tool. Now once I'm on the text tool, I can actually click anywhere. It doesn't have to be in a band because I can actually move it later on. So I'm going to click here and say how to create. All right, now here's one thing that I want to point out regarding Pixlr. Pixlr is great. In fact, I would have used Pixlr 100% for Pinterest graphics, except that for this one small issue. It will not let me center my text. In fact, there's no way to justify or center or left align or do any kind of alignment to your text. So what I have to do is I have to improvise. I actually have to create my text in different lines in different layers. So as you notice here, after I created that text here, it's actually created a new layer of its own with just this text. And if I click on it elsewhere, it's actually going to create another layer. So that's the drawback of using Pixlr. But I think for free and something that you can whip up really quickly, it's really not a bad trade-off. And then I'm gonna create yet another one. Okay, let me move this up here, and then I'm gonna create another one for free. All right. The advantage to doing this is I can also make this text different sizes. So let's say I want to keep that as that's fine. Let's keep that as 30. But let me change this one to, let's say, 25. and then that one too to 25, and there's a reason I want it smaller even though it can accommodate it because I have other things that I want to put on this band. So right there, now that I have made them smaller and I'm happy with the size, I need to center a line because all this is not proper. Again, because Pixelart is a free tool and it does have limitations, I have to do this manually. So first thing I would do is make sure I select this how to create layer and click on this move tool. And then I just want to kind of place it here. And you probably have to change this up a couple times here so that it would do, you know, eyeball it and see. Obviously, it's being eyeballing. It may not be perfect as a computer would align it for you, but you would get pretty close, really. So I have to click on each layer to make sure that they are okay, more or less like that, aligned. All right, and then the next text I'm going to put is I'm going to put my domain name. And this is something that you should do when creating graphics for Pinterest because, naturally you want traffic back to your site. Of course, this is going to be much, much, much tinier, and I'm probably going to change the font for that. And that's fine. Maybe I'll make it 15. You have to be able to see it also, so you don't want to make it too difficult to see. As you see, that one is a little bit tough to look at. Yeah, let's do that one. And let's see if it, no, again, this is all trial and error. And now I'm going to add a little bit of interest to this. In fact, I'm just going to move this over here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same as I did to the band. I'm going to click on the text here and then click on the layer styles, and I'm just going to change the opacity a little bit. That way it looks a little bit gray, although it's not, and it adds a little bit of interest to the graphic. One last thing I want to do is I want to add another text here to give credit to this author, and I happen to know that the author's name or username is Unicorn Retreat. So I'm going to type in here image by Unicorn Retreat at Morgue file. That just gives them credit because they have so graciously provided this file for free for us to use. Let's change the font again to Arial. And then this time I can actually make it much smaller. 10 size. And that's fine. I want to keep it white. And this one I'm going to place it at the bottom down here. I'm done. There you are, a Pinterest graphic that looks really nice. And if you actually want to do something more to add more interest, you can go back to the black band. I'll show you something cool that you can do. You can actually go to filters and add some of the stuff here. Like you can add scan lines that makes it look pretty interesting, doesn't it? And you can actually make it horizontal as well. Or you can add things like, I don't think Pixelate is going to come out real well on a solid text, but it will come out on an image, which I'll show you here in a minute. But maybe let's add some noise and see how it looks like. See if I add more noise, and it just kind of adds like little dots and all. But I like the scan lines that we did just now, so let's do the scan lines. And 40 seems to be fine, and I like the horizontal look because the image has this like horizontal reflection, so it makes it pretty nice looking. And also, as I mentioned earlier, if you want to add some interest to your background image, let's say this image is really nice, there's no need to doctor it up. But if you have a little bit plain looking image, you can actually doctor it up. One thing you need to know that if you're importing images or you're opening images from the website like I was early on, your background image may be protected. So what you do is you just simply double click to unlock it so that you can edit it. And then now let's go back to filter, and then let's see, let's do the pixelate. You see how that works? So maybe we don't have so much pixelation, you can actually do that too. Or you can actually pixelate a certain area, but I'm not going to do it because I like the image as it is, and I think this makes it for a really nice Pinterest graphic as it is. In fact, maybe let me just do just one thing. Let me go back to the for free text here and click on the text tool, and maybe I'll make it bold italic. So I would have to reorganize this a little bit. And I can even use my keyboard. As right now I'm using my keyboard left and right, up and down keys, so you can definitely do that too for a finer control. And sometimes I like to do that because your mouse can be tricky. And that's it. So next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to first save this file as a PXD. A PXD is a layered pixel image, so that when you can actually create templates for yourself and reuse it. You can save these templates on your computer, and then next time you want to create an image, you don't have to start all the way from scratch. You know, you can just reuse this image, switch out the text, switch out the background photo, and boom, that's it. Brand new Pinterest image, and make things go faster. So how to, I'm just going to put that, and I'm going to save it to my computer. If you create an account, you can save it to the Pixlr library, but I'm just going to save it onto my computer simply because I like it better that way. So I'm going to save it. All right. Now, if I were traveling or somewhere else, then and I'm on my laptop, I'll probably save it to either Dropbox, or I can even save it to the Pixlr library. Now, after I finish saving the PXD format, I'm going to save another one, which is the JPEG format or the PNG format. PNG's quality is really good, but also there's a size issue here, so play around with it. JPEG is very small size. Look at that size, but you may have to sacrifice some of your quality. So play around with the image types, and then click OK, and that's it. So now if I pull up I have this how-to, whoops, right there, how-to PNG. If I double click and open it up, and there it is. And I can safely add this to my website and pin it on Pinterest. Before you go, I just want you to head on over to my website, techbasedmarketing.com, because what I've done is I have created a bunch of Pinterest, PXD, Pixlr templates that we can use. Go look for it in the blog. If you can't find it in the blog in the first page, just search for Pixlr templates or Pinterest templates and go download this package. I have a couple of different templates that I made. Let me kind of show you. This is one of them. This is another one. Grab this for free so that you can start simply using it without having to create all of these layers yourself. And I've even added, done some of these interest scan lines and gradients for you. Again, thank you so much for your interest. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, it's techbasedmarketing.com.